So maybe this is an organization who's working to support women returning home from deployment and reintegrate back into their lifestyles and their families. So maybe you can get your board members involved in supporting these women as they transition out or transition back in. Maybe it's as simple as welcoming them at the airport or welcoming them at the reception, but it's some kind of opportunity where they get to see this incredibly emotionally rich experience and feel really up close to the mission. Or maybe you're bringing it to them. This is a really good example, and this is an example that we often use at Girl Start. Let's pretend like these lovely people sitting here at this table are reading scholarship applications from students who don't have the money to afford your program but want to go. These are really well-deserving students, and these are really emotionally rich, meaningful scholarships. This is something that they don't have to see a kid in person. This can really just be something where you're collecting information and you're sharing it. And let's pretend like these people are making a decision about who gets the scholarship. That's going to be a really hard decision. But in hearing these stories and reading these scholarships, these board members are going to feel really close to the mission. And then finally, let's pretend like this grandpa is volunteering, and let's pretend like this is an organization that is serving parents with terminal illnesses, and he's volunteering to read stories to the kids while their parents meet with a doctor or a medical counselor or a financial counselor. So this is just an example of some ways that you can think about how you can get your board members up close to your mission so that they can really see and feel the actual power of the work that you're doing. They can get out of their desk and they can see it real time and how it's happening and how it's making a real difference. This is the winning formula for that. If your board member feels connected, if your board member feels inspired by your work and inspired by the need, they're not only going to want to have an impact, they're also going to want to recruit others. They're going to be the best possible spokesperson you could actually ever have, because they're going to be telling everyone they know about their incredible experience and how much it moved them. The next tip that I have for you is to give your board members manageable, satisfying work. So in some of those examples, reading those scholarship applications, that is an example of a manageable, satisfying work. I would pick that over having a board member stuff envelopes. When you're giving your board members actual fundraising prospects to manage, I would recommend not giving your board member more than 3 prospects. 3 is a really good number. It's manageable. They can set up visits. They can set up lunch with those 3 people. They can cultivate those relationships. They can bring those folks to making a gift. And then when they're done, we can check those folks off the list, and we can give them 3 new prospects. So the work that you give them needs to be bite-sized and manageable enough that it actually feels doable, and they can have a real sense of success accomplishing it. These are busy people, we can't have them feeling just inundated and snowed under with everything that they're doing. The 4th tip is really helping them feel like they're active contributors, like what they're doing matters. We've got to make them heroes. So in that slide that I showed you earlier, for those interactions they might be having, we've got to really make them feel like in interacting with us, it was meaningful. We're giving them that experience of getting to see the programs and getting excited about the programs, but we're also giving them the experience of feeling like this is meaningful, I'm moving the needle. This is going somewhere, we're making real change happen, and this is something really incredible. And this is just, I'll give you a really quick example at Girl Start. I'm going to try to summarize this one pretty quick, but we did an event called Take a Girl to College Day, where we invited our board members and our donors to come and interact with us. And we had all these middle school students. If they went to college, they were going to be first-generation college students. And they were there at the union and the university. And we had our board members and donors play the role of admissions counselors and welcome the girls and let the girls know when they arrived on the college campus what college they had been accepted to. We gave them a script. We set them up for success. And this was a really great way. We added a really fun element to the event that made the girls feel special, and the board members had a lot of fun as well. And they felt like they were really contributing to the program and that they had a role to play. So, so this is another example of how you can make them feel like active contributors, inviting them to be engaged and letting them know how that's making a difference. In order to do that, you can tap into their expertise. Maybe they're a futurist and they can advise you on future trends. There's always something. There's a saying in fundraising, ask me for advice. Ask me for money and I'll give you advice. Ask me for advice and I'll give you money. And we've got to tap into our board members' expertise and leverage it for our organization so that we can have them feel like they're a valued part of our team. And then the final tip is really building their confidence and satisfaction by having them actually call to thank donors. I am a huge fan of taking a brief 5-minute break at board meetings to have board members pick up the phone and call donors and thank them. And I give my board members a list of all the donors that I want them to call, their phone numbers. I give them a sample script. I give them a really couple sentences, maybe a short paragraph about the donor, their background. This is a huge opportunity to make a board member feel like they are part of fundraising. If they usually don't get folks on the phone, but when they do get folks on the phone, the people that answer the other end of the call are thrilled. I mean, thrilled, joyous to get an actual phone call from an actual board member. It means so much to a donor, and the board member feels that enthusiasm, and they feel so appreciated. And if you've got board members that are telling you they're allergic to fundraising or that they're afraid of fundraising, that is a really great tool to get their feet wet and build their confidence and have them start really embracing it. And if you don't think that matters, this is some research from Penelope Burke, who wrote Donor-Centered Fundraising, and her newest book is Donor-Centered Leadership. And this is activities that boost donor retention. This is retaining your donors. This is a 25% boost in retaining donors the next year if they get a thank you call from a board member. You're probably wondering, what about staff? That's a boost too. That's 10%. So this should be a real rallying cry for everybody joining us today to pick up the phone and thank those donors personally for their gift. It makes a huge difference, much more meaningful than just an autoresponder. Doesn't count. It's not as meaningful as an actual thank you call. But you can see, if you're ever wondering if a thank you call from a board member matters, this is proof positive right here that it absolutely does matter. So the next thing that I want to talk about is I want to challenge everybody on the call today to really think about how you are inviting your board members to fundraise. Because a lot of times what happens is it just can start to feel, the staff can feel frustrated. Maybe they felt like the expectations were set, but the board member's not following through with it, and this board member's kind of behaving like a deadbeat, and they're not doing the fundraising they ought to be doing. Well, how did we invite them to fundraise? Did we make it clear in the board recruitment process? Did we specify it in the board contract? Did we discuss it in the board orientation? Hopefully the answer to all of this is yes, yes, and yes. If it isn't, please go download the sample board contract. Here is the URL for you being able to download that. It's pursuant.com/board contract. So hopefully you did make it clear in the recruitment process, and hopefully the expectation is clear in the contract. What I love about this sample is that it's so detailed. I mean, it goes into their personal gift, it goes into committees that they're going to serve on, it goes into having a gala, and are they going to contribute to that, and how. It's really comprehensive, which you can't be too detailed. But the reality is, and I've got a quote here from my friend Gail Perry, the reality is fundraising is the F word to many board members, okay? And they can feel afraid. they feel like they're hitting someone up. They can feel like they're taking advantage of their friends. They might feel afraid that it's going to feel like begging, or that they're going to be on the spot themselves, or that they're going to be putting this donor on the spot, and that's going to be really uncomfortable. Of course, they're afraid of rejection. They're afraid the donor's going to say no. They're afraid they're going to have to go back and tell you that they said no. They don't want to do something that makes them feel uncomfortable. So our obligation here is to address their fears directly and to make it safe for them. And addressing their fears directly and making it safe. I'm a trainer, and I train people to be better fundraisers. I did a training recently, and it was really a fundraising training, but it was called Creating a Culture of Philanthropy. Not every board of directors is going to sign up to attend a fundraising training, but Creating a Culture of Philanthropy was actually the perfect title to get them feeling, embracing it and feeling excited and feeling like, yeah, let's go do that. Let's go make that happen. So I want to talk with you guys